An inequality refers to a problem that has a sign like less than or greater than, or it could also be less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So we would have a sign like this, less than, or it could be less than or equal to. Could be greater than or equal to. And we put the line underneath it when we want it to be equal to. So the ones without the line underneath means it can be just less than, but not equal to. And we learn when we were younger, problems like 2 is less than 5, or 6 is greater than 1, problems like this. But as we get into more algebra topics, we start having letters in there like X. So when there are lots of different possible answers to a problem, for example, if in order to ride a roller coaster you have to be taller than 48 inches. Well, there's so many different ways you can be taller than 48 inches. You can be 48.1 inches, 48.2, 48.3, be 50, 60 inches. It's hard to write all these different possibilities. So instead, we use a variable like X or H for height, and we say that X, which is how tall you are in our case, so let's list that out. How tall you are. So in this case, X is representing how tall you are, and you have to be taller than or greater than 48 inches. So it means any number I can put in there that makes that true. So could I be 50? Well, is 50 greater than 48? Yep. Could I be 51 inches? Yep, because 51 is greater than 48. Could I be 47 inches? No, because 47 is not greater than, 47 is less than 48, so that could not be true. Could I be 48.5 inches? Yep. So any number that makes that true is an answer, or is a variable, or could be replacing that variable X. If we just have this greater than sign, that means I can't actually be 48. If someone that is exactly 48 inches wanted to ride the ride, then it would have to be someone that is greater than or equal to 48 inches, or we say at least. So if I use the phrase at least, that means I can be 48 or more. So we say the phrase at least, that means that is as small as you can be. So I could be 48 inches, or I would have to be bigger than 48 inches. So when we use that phrase at least, that means it's going to be that size or bigger. On the other hand, if we use the phrase at most means that is the absolute biggest it can be. So maybe it's a kid's ride and you can have to be at most 48 inches. That means I can be 48 inches to ride it, or I would have to be less than that to ride those rides. So these words can be a little bit tricky when we hear those. We tend to think the opposite. So you got to really think about what those words are trying to convey in the problem to help make it make sense.